All right, so if you're watching this watch list video, say before 6 o'clock, maybe I should say 5:30, 5:45, you probably still have a chance to register. There'll be a link below to register if you want to show up to our webinar tonight. We're giving away one of our A-plus setups that we teach in our course, probably 40 minutes where we walk through completely, but you'll have to do some homework to get that 40 minutes. You'll have to actually go watch it, right? But we'll certainly show you a little bit in the webinar. We're mostly there to talk about our top 5 aha moments, but we've never given away a big chunk, not a big chunk, I don't know. What's 40 minutes out of over 40 hours? A smidge, right? But we've never given away a smidge of our course like that. So show up and get registered and show up and you'll get access to that. And again, we're going to be talking about our top 5 aha moments. Another great day in chat today. Before I get into the watch list, I already got to slide this over. Call it a day. This is I took a screenshot of Jane's idea, ELTK, red to green, worth watching, and that's, you know, when it was down here, red to green, opened right at 6 with the high of day above on a stock that made a massive move yesterday. So the idea was through 6. I actually agreed with Jane. Did a limit of 6. This is a limit order. This is where I got filled, 597. And it went up over 11. It was insane to watch this afternoon. Once the algos got a hold of this thing, it was crazy whippy, but what a massive move. As always, another fantastic call by Jane. And the only thing I'm not going to follow up on this is how little I made on that because I'm a schmuck. But it was a great call. And I did go 4 for 4 today on my trades, all 4 green. But that ELTK went way, way farther than I thought it would. All right, anyway, so what am I watching for tomorrow? I hope to see you in the webinar tonight, by the way. Let's start with the SPY, actually. So the SPY just kind of hanging out slightly above, or it looks like it closed pretty, slightly above yesterday's close, but you got a bottoming tail yesterday, kind of an indecision candle today, pretty low volume. Overall, things look kind of bearish lately, like the market can't get any traction, but as always, we don't really trade the overall market. We keep an eye on it so we don't get burned on an intraday basis, but we trade individual stocks that are in play. And speaking of that, here's my list for tomorrow. NOVN had a really nice move back here, pulled back for a couple days, and then a really nice bounce today. Kind of up into resistance though, so I just happened to notice this almost by accident today. It's probably my least favorite because it doesn't have much volume lately. And I should have had it on bounce watch for today because then I probably could have got a pretty nice trade in it. But that's NOVN. All right, next we have OTLK, which still had this big move, pulled back, and a little bounce, and it's just kind of coiling. Could break down, could break up. I'm just going to have it on a chart. No trades in it today, but it goes back on watch for tomorrow. MDXG, nice breakout on pretty good volume for this stock. And let's see, it ran from 335 to 499. So certainly interesting, especially that it topped out at, right at a whole number there. We'll see if it gives any kind of setup tomorrow. PIRS, a loosely based flag here. You had this breakout over 4 on nice volume. And the interesting thing to me is a couple days in a row, it topped out right at the half. I switched to 15-minute candles, you can see it. Right about 450 there and here and here. So over 450, half number inflection point, right? It might challenge and maybe break out above these couple recent highs just to the left there on the chart. Rewalk. Excuse me, our WLK. This was on watch for today, no trades in it. And then it put in kind of a quiet inside day, but closing near the near yesterday's high. So I think that's super interesting. Yesterday topped out at 420. Today topped out at 397. Certainly through today's high or through the whole number 4, it might challenge and retake yesterday's high. So not a terrible setup there. VLRX, quiet inside day, topped out right at 4. I was watching this afternoon for a possible setup. And you kind of had this tight coil right below the whole number 4 with yesterday's high up here at 440. And again, here's the daily. So you kind of have an inside day and a possible whole number inflection point. No trades in it today, but it's worth watching tomorrow. AVDL, this one's kind of coiling here. I talked about this one. Not a whole lot of volume in this stock, but it did pop up on big volume a few sessions ago. Big volume for this stock, and now it's kind of flagging, so I want to keep an eye on that one. couple others. Foot Locker, FL. After the big gap down, 4 red days in a row, I'll just be looking for a possible snapback bounce. Remember, I don't take any of these. I don't hold any of these overnight, so I'll be looking intraday for an A+ setup. And then lastly, Abercrombie & Fitch, A and F. Also had a gap down and then kind of another ugly day. I mean, I'd like to see it kind of come down to this area here, which might take a couple more days, and it might never happen. So it's pretty beaten up over the last couple of days. I'm not in love with this list, but certainly, you know, if one or two of them gives me an A+ setup and get any kind of follow through, it can make my day. So I think it's important to start every day with a watch list that is a list of stocks that are in play or could become in play, and also add some morning gappers to that list as well. And we'll do that in the morning as well. So hope to see a lot of you tonight at the webinar, and the rest of you, we'll see you tomorrow.